Hello and welcome to the Wizard Weekly News. I'm Hayden Scott, and thanks as always for joining us today as we return from a 3-week hiatus.
And I'm Ben Gallegos. That's right, Hayden. We have been away for a few weeks, and lots has happened since we were on the air, including the decision to return to full-time schooling starting in March.
True that, Ben. Recently, our school superintendent, Mr. Dan Segmiller, announced that starting March 15th, which is the first day of the fourth quarter, all students will be returning to the actual Windsor High School building every day for our second semester gold classes. All students will be attending all of their second semester gold classes each day of the week, and that has, without a doubt, created a bit of a stir in the halls of Windsor High School.
We wanted to take a deeper dive into this by talking with all affected, including students, teachers, and administrators. Ava Gomez has more on the thoughts of Windsor High School about returning to full-time.
Going back to school full-time has been a rumor around the school for the past few weeks, but it may be coming sooner than expected. We don't know much yet, but I wanted to know some of the student and staff input. Here are what some students had to say when I asked how they felt about going back to school full-time.
I'm excited because I get to see all my friends.
I'm actually kind of excited for it because then I get to see all my friends.
I don't think going back to school is a good idea right now. I think there's still a lot going on just in the world in general.
Honestly, I think it's a bad idea because we've been doing this schedule for so long, and I feel like it just messes, with people's heads.
I'm excited to have some normality in our school schedule and a lot less of a workload at one time.
So you guys, I wanted to discuss.
There was some student input. Now I decided to ask Ms. Hoy what she thought about going back to school and teaching full-time. Here are her thoughts.
I think it'll be exciting to go back to school full-time. I love being around kids, and I think their energy is really important. They feed off of each other. So as long as they're excited, I'm excited.
Lastly, we wanted to talk to some admin. We asked Ms. Scallon what she's heard and how she feels about going back to school full-time. Here's what she said.
There's a lot of different opinions and feelings and thoughts on whether we should return to full-time in person. But I can tell you this, our goal has always been to get all the kids back in the building. And we always want to remember that the first and foremost thing that we look at is safety and security in our school and in our district. And Mr. Segmiller is leading the way on this. And he, of course, like I said, our goal is to get the kids back into school. But right now we are looking at eventually going back full time. And there's no date that's been set. There has not been a specified time. We're just watching the laws and the regulations and seeing when we're able to come back. And also we're preparing when we do come back in person to address some of the things that changed during the pandemic and trying to get things regulated and get back on our feet, because eventually we will be full-time back in person. So it's going to be a swing back to that schedule, but we're going to be ready for it.
There's what some others thought about going back to school full-time. What do you think?
We have lots of sports news to share with you today as well, and we start today with our awesome boys and girls basketball programs. Both programs have had great success so far this season.
Indeed they have been. Both teams, as of the taping of this newscast, were ranked in the top 3 in the state, with the boys recently defeating the number 1 team in the state, Meade, and the girls' team is currently undefeated this season. Over the next 2 weeks, we will be looking closer at what makes these teams so good. Today, we start with the boys' team. Here is Ben Brooks with more.
Last year, the Wizards went 16-9 with losing in the second round of the playoffs to Vista Peak. With this year being completely different with all the COVID regulations, the team is going to have to overcome the adversity of 2021 if they want to make it back to the playoffs. This has proven to be one of the hardest years for Windsor sports, especially for seniors. With the head coach, Mr. Ikeski, the boys are working hard to start the 2021 season strong. I talked to some of the players and the coach about how they're dealing with one of the most challenging years yet.
Well, the season's young and it's new. We've only played 2 games. We've had a little bit of a delay to the season, so other teams are 4 or 5 games in. We're only 2 in, so a lot. Where do I begin? It started last spring. Typically, I think one of the things that was an impact on our team was our off season. Usually we play a season worth of games in the month of June. We are in the gym lifting and getting shots up and during the off season. And so with COVID, we weren't able to do that much of that. And if we did get in the gym, it got shut down, and then it was just very sporadic. So that's one way. And obviously, having separate practices, having smaller, little cohorts of teams is different. Playing in masks is different. So there's a lot of challenges with COVID, but I think our kids have handled it really, really well. They were able to get in the gym during the off season on their own and keep playing and stay in shape, and so I'm really proud of how they've handled it, because it's probably not ideal, but they did it, and we're moving forward.
Here at Windsor High School, we like our sports. We get our name from the 1924 Windsor Bulldogs. They were so good, people said they were like wizards. The name has stayed like that for almost 100 years. With the boys starting the 2021 season, they are still living up to that reputation. With the team being mainly seniors, this is sure to be an exciting year.
For one, win most of our games, and then two, hopefully winning a state championship. The biggest challenges are, for one, maybe these masks, and then I think that's about it. We're playing pretty well together, so.
How do the masks affect how you play?
They're definitely harder to breathe in, and that's about it. Annoying.
Not as long of a preseason, not as much practice time in the gym, so it's been kind of tough.
How does wearing a mask affect how you play?
It's really tough, really hard to breathe. It's definitely a distraction as well.
They're off to a great start and riding on the backs of their 8 seniors. This will not be an easy season, but the Wizards are preparing themselves for greatness. I'm Ben Brooks, reporting for the Wizard Weekly News.
Make sure to tune into the Wizards Broadcasting Network on YouTube Friday night for the broadcast of the boys' basketball games, as the boys and girls finish off their conference schedule against Silver Creek. Trevor Villalpando and Jack Gustafson will call the girls' game, and Kane Brost and me will call the boys' game. Coverage starts at 4:50. Check the Windsor High School website for the link to the game.
The basketball teams are not the only ones experiencing success this year, as the wrestling program and the girls' swim team are also having great seasons. The boys' wrestling team had a great come-from-behind victory last week against Greeley Central and are currently ranked in the top 10 in Class 4A. Meanwhile, the girls' swim program is also having a great season as well.
The girls' team is ranked in the state's top 10, with 4 of our swimmers already qualifying for the state meet. Delaney Engel, Nicole Reynolds, Jenna Eccleston, and Ella Evans have all qualified for individual events at the state meet. And 3 Windsor High School relay teams have also qualified for state. Hayden, year in and year out, the Wizards sports program are always a contender for state titles.
Pretty awesome, Ben. Congratulations to all the participants for their incredible seasons. We can't wait to see what happens at the state contest coming up in March. We finished today with an exciting announcement from Ms. Teal and Mrs. Haskins about the STAR campaign rebranding that advisory classes participated in recently. A winner has been chosen. Here is Ms. Teal and Mrs. Haskins with more.
Hi, I'm Ms. Teal.
And I'm Mrs. Haskins.
And today we want to thank you for all the wonderful STAR campaign submissions in your advisory class. Our leadership team at our high school really appreciated all of the effort and the time that you put in. And in our eyes, you are shining stars.
We're excited to announce the top 3 winners. So our 3rd place winner is Mr. Collier's advisory class. Our 2nd place winners is Miss Gilmore's advisory class. And our grand champions, who will get to have their design on t-shirts, and they'll get a free t-shirt. And they also get to have a special time with Mrs. Scallon and something coming up. We'll announce that later, pending COVID rules. And also, which is really cool, all of your logo will be used on all of our STAR marketing for the next year and a half. So we are so excited, and this 1st place winners are Mr. Griebel's advisory class. Congratulations.
Yay! Congratulations.
Congratulations to the big winners, and thanks to all those advisory classes who participated in the challenge. That's going to wrap up this extensive edition of the Wizard Weekly News.
Don't forget to tune in to the Wizards Broadcasting Network on YouTube Friday night at 5 p.m. for the girls' basketball game, followed at 7 p.m. by the boys' game. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.